Today is Martin Luther King birthday, and so we're celebrating unity consciousness, what represents our true freedom and speaking our truth and not separating it, but still, even though we're in separation, we are still bringing that unity that goes along with being separated, you know? Because, I had a hard time thinking today, because I had a dream to do with my mom. She was in the bed, and I was laying there beside her, and she said to me, Sharon, you're looking at things from a white perspective. Like white? I'm like, what? What do you mean by that, you know? So anyway, I understood where she was coming from, because I believe what she was saying was that I have to look at it from all sides and not just, I'm not saying separating as white and black, but the mere fact that the black people have a set of feelings, white people have a set of feelings. That's just the way it is, you know what I mean? So I thought to myself, how do we bring things back into a space that we still have our feelings, because it's in the DNA of those of us who are here as black folks, and then there's something that's in the DNA of the white folks, even though I've been white before in other lifetimes, and I've been many things in other lifetimes, and I love all my people. But still, how do we reconcile all these feelings and all these differences, thoughts, and all this stuff? You know what I'm saying? And so here's what I came up with. I thought about that movie with Sanaa, Lathan, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. But that movie is where she fell in love with a white guy, and the white guy that she fell in love with, she had a hard time in thinking that he can relate to what she experiences as a black woman, you see, because he's white. So in the interim of things, what happened, her father ended up talking to her in the bathroom, because he said, you know, like as if he said that he didn't have any, no, she said he's only white, you know. He didn't have no disease or anything like that. You know, I don't remember the exact thing of the movie. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. I can't remember the name of the movie. So it ended up happening that she ended up being in love with him, and she surrendered to that love, because love knew no color of skin. It didn't matter with her status, because she was in a prestigious status. She was a prominent black female. And he ended up being the one taking care of her garden, so his standard of living was a little bit lower, so to speak. You see, but what happened is love came in and took her by the heart. And it didn't matter what color of his skin was. See, all that mattered was that she stayed on her path to love. She stayed on her path to love. And because she stayed on her path to love, she came to that realization that she couldn't hide that love that she was feeling. She had to stick with it. And from sticking with that love, no matter what happened in the end, no matter how she was dressed or how he was dressed, she moved towards that love, you see? So these are the changes that are happening on the planet, that we are moving towards true love. We're moving towards love that's within our hearts. And we're going to be in a space and time where we're just in love with each other. And I'm telling you the truth, we are going to be in love with one another. And there is no stopping any of this. It is coming to that place, and you're going to be wondering, why are you feeling the way you feel? And what is this? What does it mean? You know what I mean? And what it means is that everything else is just going to keep shedding off, everything. And all that's going to remain is love. So, you know, when I think about our black folks, I know that we've gone through pain and suffering throughout centuries and lifetimes. Slavery, physical slavery, mental slavery, emotional slavery. Now's the time that you can ask yourself, where do I choose to move myself out of that space? I know I've gone through all of this with myself, my ancestors, and there are some folks who are of a different race in this lifetime that they're also carrying that frequency. And it can become angry. You know, the more you listen to all the strife in the world, and the more you listen to what other people have experienced and gone through, it makes you feel angry, because, you know, so every time someone produces a video or shows something of a cop killing a black person, right? And then there's other things of other black people killing black people too. But yet still people don't get upset over that. And it really does happen in many cultures. Black people kill black people. Black people also have their own prejudice against their own color of their skin. They also hold prejudice if someone is not light skin or black skin. It is always something that comes up within our black cultures, you see? And so when I think about You hear my kids in the background? See, I didn't get to a quiet place. And music's playing in the background. That's right. So anyway, so when I think about it, you know, it's how do we move forward from this? And how we move forward from this for henceforth is by focusing on the changes you make yourself and rise to your divinity. Focus on what is within your power to be the best that you can be, to follow your steps and to bring your kingdom and queendom together. You see, we can be in an awareness of what we've experienced in the past and what others have gone through, but now we can hold a space of shifting from the thoughts that we hold in that frequency of being against one another and feeling that hatred and anger towards someone else that may have been, that is in another color of skin or whatever. Because if someone was behind a door and you're hearing them speak and you didn't see the color of their skin, are you going to make a conscious choice to what that person may be for you? Or are you going to be at a place where, because as you open that door and see the color of their skin, then you already start to make a decision and a choice based on your perspective of the color of their skin? Now, there are also some, you know, white folks, not all of them, that still hold a frequency of looking down on someone who's black because they're holding that frequency of the hatred towards someone else because of their black or whatever the complexion that they are, you know, and thinking that if someone is black that you don't need to get the information from them because they're black, and you want to stay to your, just to the white folks side. And it's the truth. There's some who are holding that frequency even though they're enlightened. Go figure. And it's true because I have that experience. So still, I love all people. And I want you to think about this and think about what this means to you, to shift and to change out of this frequency of color of skin. And also when it comes to gender, you know, whether you choose to want to deal with someone who's a male or female, or I prefer to be with a male because they're more intelligent. Well, let me tell you something. Everything comes together. That knowledge and wisdom comes through the feminine energy, and it's held together through the masculine also, because it comes together because we all hold those frequency. And so it's not to separate it from black and white. And so we bring ourselves together back to the truth of how we are able to individuate the experiences that we've had as black and white and cultures and all these things, right? And still remembering to bring it back to unity. Bring yourself back to unity. Bring yourself back into a time of how we're changing and shifting. So as we do that, we start to ascend even higher in consciousness, and where this brings us together into a unity consciousness, and also how we're able to be with one another through the similarities and the differences. So for this day forward, in honor and celebration of Martin Luther King, and also in honor of my mom, because she came to me in that dream, what she was showing me, and also someone else was in the dream, but I won't call that person's name, that played significant because once again, this has to do with the perception that we place around love in regards to relationships, because the heart wants what the heart wants. I would recommend for you to watch that movie by Sanaa, Lathan. I wish I can remember the name of the movie, but I will be sure to point it out next time. You know, once again, she fell in love with someone who was of a different race, and she was trying so hard to fight it back, and she can't. And that's what it is when it comes to the true divine love that's coming in. It's not going to matter the color of the skin. It's not going to matter what the age difference is. It's not going to matter the cultural differences. It's not going to matter whether it's religious or spiritual background. It's not going to matter what status you come from, whether somebody's rich or poor, wealthy, or, you know, just of a lower standard or whatever. See? And so this is about us just focusing on being our true selves, being our authentic selves, and being in that place of honoring each other and standing into your truth and to your power, not being in fear of it. So I send you so much peace and love. I thank you so much for allowing yourself to shift and to change through this energy of what is occurring on the planet as we're continuing to go through more and more portals. More and more wisdom and understanding is flowing through each and every one of us as we're bringing these divine relationships together, which is truly sacred. This is coming through from the divine. Yes, it is. And as we continue to unfold and to reveal everything that we thought was true, we're coming back to the truth. And sometimes coming back to the truth means that we have to face the things that we think we know and letting go of it. And then also keeping what we know that serves us, that brings us joy into that highest state. But while we're still honoring what is showing up in the individuation of where we have been with one another. And that is true love. I send you so much love, peace, and infinite blessings in this time from this day forward. Namaste. Yeah. Maybe I should do a little dance. No, later.